hello. I'm going to look at one of these. The bottom's bound to be me, right? So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another round of Ray's Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ray Mancini. Here with my ace corner man, cut man, Mighty Mike Case. And our very special guest today.
Then he laughs, right?
He laughs because he got laugh. Because
Like I'm not Mighty.
Because Mike usually does this. Like, No, anyhow, but we're a very special guest today. Just for this show, he came all the way from Hollywood, California, just for the show. How about that? Who would have thunk it?
It's true.
A good friend. I know, Tony, how long? You got to help me remember how long.
Man, it had to have been. I remember I was still really struggling in Youngstown, Ohio.
And not in Youngstown.
That's
but
true.
Now tell him, you just told Joe Rogan you were going to be on our show, right?
That's right. I just did Joe Rogan's massive podcast, and while telling him what I was doing back home, I told him I'm doing Boom Boom Mancini's podcast, and he goes, "You shut the fuck up," is what he said.
That's it.
He
My
talked
man.
about how much he loves you, how
he's
great
great.
you are, and
Yet I can't get on his podcast. I'm like, they got me in the line.
No,
they told
you're
me,
in there.
They said we're gonna, we'll give you 2 months. It's not like I'm on a 2-month waiting list.
Yeah.
But hey, but he's a good guy.
But I'm telling you, you're behind. You're also that podcast lineup's no joke.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm one of his buddies. We tour the world together. So I'm like a fill-in. Like if Elon Musk can't make it because a rocket exploded, I get to fill in. But those people, it's no disrespect to you. I just want to say.
Get, sure. But I know it's to be on a show, and he's asked me a couple times. I'd love to do it, and just haven't been able to put it together.
Yeah.
Now, also, you are you did that show. Now, Joe Rogan's show is he's like the staple of podcasts.
The gold standard.
Live stream show. He's like the gold standard, right?
Yeah.
And everyone tells my son listened to him. Everyone told me. And Joe's a funny cat. He's a good guy. I remember when I've seen him do stand up before, and he's people don't understand. But do you remember the channel I can't think of his name. He did stand up too for the NBC, the Weatherman. With the blonde hair.
Is his name.
Out in L.A. No, the man he did stand up for a long time. I actually saw him.
Oh, you're talking about Fritz Coleman?
Fritz Coleman.
Yeah.
Fritz Coleman. Yeah, Fritz did stand up for a while.
Yeah.
He did different things. Funny cat.
That's what he did before he was a weatherman. Yeah.
And also, I don't want to meet ESPN.
Craig Kilborn
No.
was stand-up
No.
for a while.
What's his name?
On ESPN now?
Oh God, no. He was on. And he this still comes back. I can't.
Keith Olbermann?
No. I'll think of it.
Do you want to be a weatherman?
No.
Yeah, anyhow, but
Not
anyhow,
gonna do it?
a lot of people
No,
who have done
not my
stand-up
thing.
have gone on to do radio and TV and show, but they start as stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
no,
I mean,
it's true. It's
you know what I'm talking about. I'll think of his name all the time.
No, it's the starting point for many, many people. I mean, Letterman, Pryor, Jim Carrey,
Sure.
straight from the Comedy Store where I started, where I built out of. I worked the door there. A lot of these guys worked the door at the Comedy Store.
Well, let me tell you something. I used
What
to
do you
go
do at
there.
the door?
Well, you end up
Taking
studying.
IDs.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you
well,
stand at the door and
Well, no, you take IDs. You get to watch the show, make sure nobody heckles. You get to keep an eye on everything, and you learn. You study
And you
all the
stu-
different styles.
And you got to control the line because a lot of
Right.
people, because there are a lot of belligerent people wanting to get in. And I've seen,
Is that right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh no.
It's sort of like being the guy at the boxing gym that sleeps at the gym, that cleans the mats. You know what I mean? It's very much the same. I have 1,000 fighting analogies with comedy, especially the Youngstown connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I went to the Comedy Store and Pauly Shore was a little kid. He was letting around.
Yeah.
Mitzi was running the show, right? But I met his father, Sammy Shore. Sammy, I got to met him through the years, doing things. Sammy Shore and Pauly Shore was a little kid, and he used to be hanging out there.
I just got a text from him 5 minutes ago.
And tell
he
him I
doing?
remember
What's
him. I
Pauly Shore
remember.
doing?
I used to. Nice. Tell him I said hello. I mean, I don't know if he remember, but he may. But it's another kid. When I used to hang out more at the Improv. But Friedman, of course, Mark Lanau, because I was good friends with Tommy Dreesen. He's now with Tommy Dreesen and Jimmy Alec and all them guys. Johnny Dark. But who used to work there?
At the Improv or
Yeah.
the store?
At the Improv. Michael Rappaport.
Oh, yeah.
But his mother married Mark. He's Mark's steps. But Michael was like a little kid.
Yeah.
And I thought he was like from New York because he got, he's the whitest brother you meet.
Yeah.
He's the whitest brother, yo, what do you know? And Michael's a good kid. I love it. He went to Hollywood High.
Yeah.
He keeps saying he might have been born in New York, but he was raised in Hollywood. Hollywood High. Yo, what you gonna forget? Yeah, what you gonna do? Where you from the neighborhood?
So he's always been that
Oh,
way.
he's that way from day one. And I
Okay.
said, that kid, and he was 14, 15 years old working the door.
Wow, I always wondered about that. I wondered when he got that very urban twitch
Yeah.
to him, but
No,
I guess
really.
he's always been
But-
that way.
But he's from Hollywood High.
Maybe he got adopted by black parents or something like that. I don't know.
Whitest brother I know.
Yeah, me too.
Anyhow. Tony, can't thank you enough for coming, because we got so much time. Look, first of all, these guys were a little nervous.
Yeah.
They said, Tony's known for being a cut-up comedian, man. He'd bust king of ball busters. So
right.
I'm here to throw down the gauntlet. If during the show, bring it. I said, I got balls of steel, elephant skin.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. Well, just throw it out. Just throw it out.
No, these guys look. I mean, I can't make fun of these guys. Come on, look at these.
No, I know.
Look
Those
at
baby
the.
faces.
I know. I mean, they're so nice. I mean, look at them.
And then you got the baby
Someday
brother.
that beard will come
you
in.
got Jeff, or you got Jab and Jeff over, and you got baby brother Scott in there.
Yeah.
You
Where
know,
would I even begin with these young Republican associations over
I know.
here? You know what I
I know.
mean? I can't
They're
make
all
fun of these guys.
kickboxers and jujitsus
Really?
and stuff like that. You got to watch your step. That's all
okay.
they do
Yeah.
over here. It's
All
their
right.
favorite thing.
Tony's got jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt with verbal assault.
That's right.
Verbal attack.
That's
Can't be-
right.
You better what? That's the
Registered weapon.
North side of Youngstown. That's exactly
What was
where
that
it
like
comes
growing
from.
up there?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly how it happens. That's how you get this way. Is the same type of fighting that a lot of guys do.
Absolutely
The
right.
same type of hunger and defense mechanisms that you have to defend your family, to defend yourself. Really, is how it was built right there. You know, right on the north side. I mean, the hardest part. My house has bullet holes in it from when I was a kid, just from random drive-bys and things like that.
Seriously?
Now, where did
Yep.
you grow up? Where did you grow up with that?
Florencedale. I guess you have.
I know Florence. So my
Master Piedro's, right?
Yes, yes.
My mom said that we would live just a few houses. She said to say that to you, the Master
Uh,
Piedro's.
yes, because yes, and my Leslie, that's a Mr. Pietro, and my son's my son, my nephew's mother,
Yeah.
was Leslie Folio, and her sister was Master Pietro, and all her nieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and well, then down the street.
So you know how bad of a neighborhood that was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he's the real deal. That's right. Florence was bad. It was right.
Everybody that I meet now when I travel the world, they go, Tony, I'm from Youngstown too. I go,
Oh,
really?
really?
What part? They go, oh,
Boardman.
Boardman,
Yeah, yeah.
Clanfield, Niles. I'm like,
Clanfield. They go from Clanfield or the rough, mean streets of Clanfield. That's like
The gritty
my kids
streets
grew
of
up in Santa
Poland.
Monica,
It's the worst.
and I go, ooh, you grew up in the mean streets of Santa Monica, ooh. But yeah, but you're no, you're right. Lawrenceville ain't no place with a joke.
Right.
But you know what? You just said it. Was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of guys, they find out they learn their weapons when they're young.
Yep.
You know, I want to be fighter. But some guys, their verbals are, and they learn their wit and sharp, and because they don't want to fight, and so they said, look, I don't know how to fight, so I'm
Did
gonna
you
use
ever
my
brawl?
I'm gonna use my words.
Oh yeah,
You
I
wouldn't
fought
guys
all
up
the
by making
time.
fun.
Like
But
fist fight?
Absolutely, because that's the thing is you make exactly what I'm going to answer both your questions. What you were saying is exactly. It's like, would you rather be feared or loved?
Yeah.
And making fun of people gets you both, right?
Right.
It makes people laugh. Then all of a sudden you're a little more popular. But it's also like the big doofy bully doesn't want to pick on you because they know you're going to call him
and he's gonna look stupid doing it.
right,
And everyone's gonna call-
exactly. And to your question, what was it again?
I'm saying, did you actually ever get in a fight?
My first bus ride on my first day of school, I made fun of one kid and he popped me right in my mouth. I didn't even know what that feeling really was.
Well,
like
did
it
you
was boom.
scrap then, or did you?
Yeah,
just
we
take it and
scrapped a
sit down?
little bit, but I mean,
People break
it
it
was
up,
he
that's a
was
good thing.
yeah, it was broken up. It was on a school bus. We were separated, but man, my first memory of my first day of school was rinsing my mouth out in the water fountain and seeing,
Blood.
pink blood
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
with the water. You know what I mean? It was just very surreal and an eye-opening experience. But
Oh, man.
it would happen all the time, man. I mean, that was my first day of kindergarten. So
know-
that's 5 or 6. So
Yeah.
you can
And
imagine.
Tony's gonna be a long succession of not only Youngstown people who've had success in Hollywood from the north side.
Yep.
You know Warner Brothers, of course, right?
Yep.
You know Eddie O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill.
Who else is the other
Ursuline
guy?
alumni.
Who else is there?
Kelly the Ghost Pavlik.
No, not from the north side. He's from the south side.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Joe
North
Flynn.
side. Who's Joe Flynn?
You know McHell's Navy? You don't remember that?
it's a little-
Oh, I mean, Tony, come on,
It was
man.
a black and
was us
white
there.
TV show.
That was
How
one
old
of the
are you?
favorite. But Joe
35.
Flynn. But Joe Flynn. Okay, guys. But Joe Flynn
You have to get some
was
TV
was
in.
was a corporal or
On McHale's Navy?
McHale's Navy. It was one of the funny shows ever. Tim Conway, Ernest Borgnine, but Joe Flynn also did Broadway. He was a master, and then he did other movies back then, and then he did television. Joe Flynn was a award-winning, one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Is he even alive anymore?
No, he's been
Okay.
dead 100
That's
years.
what I'm saying. So
I
how
mean,
do
come
you
on,
know?
man. So what I'm saying is, but if you're from the
lineage.
north
You know your
side,
lineage,
you know
right?
the names. Look, a lot of fighters ain't alive, but I still know the fighters, don't we?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But that's a no. Eddie, Warner Brothers, Eddie, Joe Flynn.
You know Eddie?
I almost met Ed a couple times. There was almost a time where I almost was. I auditioned for a role on Modern Family, didn't quite get it, and we had a mutual friend, and we almost had a meeting, but stuff kept happening. This was right before Modern Family started, and that whole thing got
Before
cooking.
you would have me with Eddie before the audition.
Yeah.
Because Eddie, people like Eddie knows my kids.
Yeah.
Says they're little. I mean, literally, they grew up like Eddie's like an uncle to them. He loves my kids. Because my son Leonardo's an actor, and Leonardo, but Eddie, he said, Leonardo, I'll talk to him, see if I'll give him their name. If they haven't called him, so people say, well, can Ed O'Neill do anything? No.
Right.
He did what he could do. There's a trickle down effect. You don't run the show. He's not the showrunner.
Right.
Well,
If
you're
you don't
better
do-
off. That show will never make it. Don't worry about it.
But it's nice to get seen on those shows. That's for sure. He knows that.
Oh yeah,
you get
it's
seen.
always good. But you
Always.
know what's crazy is nowadays you get seen on a show like that, and as crazy as it sounds, a lot of people never really look into you. They don't find out what your real name
No.
is. You don't end up. It doesn't help you sell tickets. Whereas you go and you do a podcast like Joe Rogan's, or even like this, people are like, "Oh, that's Tony Hinchcliffe." I'll look him up on social media. And then you announce a date, and then they buy tickets to see a show. So sometimes doing other things nowadays, you can.
Right.
It helps your career more doing podcasts than even being on a big show like that. The whole
No,
media
you're right.
has
Absolutely right. You just said it. Social media's changed the game.
Yep.
Look, and being a producer and Netflix changed the game. Netflix changed the game, and people don't understand that. So when that was up for awards, when the one movie Roma won the Academy Award from that, because the rule of thumb is you got to be on two theaters in two major cities for 2 weekends. So if you can be that's why after two major cities for 2 weekends, and you're eligible for awards, Academy Award stuff. So that's basically what Netflix did with The Irishman. Irishman was in L.A. and New York. It's still there, but I mean for at least 2 weeks before it went on. On Netflix, but the digital game changed the game, man, and so for better, a lot of it not so much, because you see people on, and a good thing is you could do the stand-up routine in front of your mirror, and tape yourself, or have somebody tape you, and you send it out there. They say, oh, that's a funny cat.
Right.
But a lot of people don't have to have the goods. That 5 minutes we see. Then after that, they got no more.
Right,
And
a
that's
lot
the
of those-
downside.
yeah.
I mean, talent, it gets you in the game, it gets you seen, but it don't sustain.
Right. You can fool them once. You
right.
can't fool them twice. Those people that that do comedy on YouTube that don't do it in front of an actual audience, they die the hardest death. Especially when they're at the comedy store or somewhere where there's real heavy hitters, the big leagues.
Right.
Oh, they can't.
Oh, their ass puckers up, I'm sure, because
Oh, they can't.
I remember the comedy store. I remember. What did I see that? I mean, I used to Bobby Towns was a friend of mine. I used to see Paul Reiser and those guys. But I think I saw Eddie Murphy at the comedy club. Yeah. Years ago, and I mean, this was when he was already started. Everything he came up and it was. Keenan wins in
Damon.
Damon was brutal, man.
Oh, yeah, those guys-
Damon was brutal. He was rough, man. He was tough. He was a funny cat.
All of them built at the comedy store, those Wayans boys, and that was Jim Carrey's place too. So when they got a chance to make In Living Color, they swooped up Jim Carrey, and it was all built right out of there. I mean, people think it's this, that maybe they got them from all around the country. No, they were all working together every night, doing 15-minute spots right after each other.
Well, let me ask you that. Now, you write for the Comedy Central roast, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a member of the Friars Club, which I don't know if it's going to be around too much longer.
I know.
You know the deal.
Why
I
is
wish the one in L.A. still existed. I'd be a member of that.
That still exists?
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't.
They got
And
rid of it 10 years
10 years,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Because I used to go to one when it was on Little Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yep.
I used to have lunch with. I'm trying to see okay.
That's fine.
Okay. I
hear
used to have lunch with Milton. I used to have Milton Berle, Dick Shawn. Oh, I loved, they shot Red Buttons.
Wow.
Jerry Vell, El Martino, and like me, and I was like in a kid in a candy store because these are the guys I used to admire, man. And Mel Burrow was, and they thought, they were it was just, I was like a kid in a candy store, and then next thing you know, boom, it's little by little goes down. Shecky Green, happy to Shecky, and I called him Henny one night. By accident. Oh, Henny, how you doing? Henny, you dumb fuck motherfucker, you stump punch drunk motherfucker. Who do you think? And I started laughing, Shaky, you punch drunk motherfucker. I knew you couldn't take no shot. We got hit too many times, right? Oh
so
God.
funny.
Well, he was a funny cat. Yeah, but they used to chop, but they had no brew. And Don, I got the good friends with Don, of course. I was
the
good friend.
best. Yep.
So, so many guys I got to admire watching as a kid on the Dean Martin roast, of course, which is the predecessor to the roast now. But and I got now being a member of the Friday, I used to go to and I got to be friends with Jeff Ross, who was you ain't nobody funnier.
That's my guy.
No, I know. Now tell me, they told me, don't tell me. Lisa Lampanelli she'd chew 'em up. Then I said she changed her. Don't tell me she got the nice side. Don't tell me that.
No,
It's not nice.
It's not nice, but it's you know what I mean. She's a little bit
different.
softer.
Softer.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
The queen
Come
of
on,
mean.
Lisa.
Queen of Mean is not as mean.
Yeah, and she's more like a little bit lean now.
And
Oh,
lean.
that doesn't mean she's a little bit lean.
Got a little
Okay.
haircut. Got a little haircut.
All right.
going.
Almost
right.
a has been.
I'm gonna
You know
go.
what I mean?
See, I'm going. What is it?
Almost a has been. Well, we're rhyming here.
I'm gonna go see her here when she plays in Warren.
Oh, okay.
In that beginning
In
of
a month.
January.
She's coming in a
In a
month.
Oh, cool.
I want to say, but at least I said, don't tell me she's a little leaner now. Oh, she's a little leaner, not meaner. Oh, hell no.
No, exactly.
But she gets mad. She throws people out now. And
Yeah.
Look, I ain't going nowhere, man.
I'm just saying.
I know, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't care for the
ain't going I
establishment
paid that. If
much.
I had paid a digit, listen, widget.
Oh, you're not
sit down
leaving?
and do your show.
Are you gonna heckle?
No, I'm not that guy.
All right,
I'm not that
that's
guy.
right.
I don't. I respect entertainers because I was one of them guys one time. I mean, in being in the ring, you get heckled. But that's what people. Hey, but Tony will tell you, if you paid a digit, that's part of the deal.
It's your right.
You shouldn't, but not a right, but you can. You should show a little more class. You should have a little more, whatever.
All right,
but
give us your
Correct
thoughts
me, am I wrong?
on hecklers.
I mean, it's unacceptable. Heckling isn't an option in a real comedy show. If you have bad intentions and you're trying to mess up the show, you're not just messing up the comedian, you're messing up the time for everybody. All those people that paid money for tickets, and you're messing up. It's all about timing. It's about beats. It's like a song, you know what I mean? You don't want to mess that up. And so you want the person to be comfortable. You want them to come back to your city and all these things. We have so many options, the people that can do shows anywhere they want. You know what I mean? You end up not enjoying yourself in a place. That goes to their reputation, and you want to represent your city well, you know what I mean? So yeah, heckling's just bad. Some people get it twisted and think, oh, I'm helping the show.
Yeah,
but
sometimes I feel like the comedian kind of relishes it, kind of likes it every once in a while. I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, if they're really relishing in it, then they don't have enough material right now. You know what I mean? They're struggling. Maybe they just did a special and they're trying new stuff. You know what I mean? So maybe it's fun to have a distraction. And anybody that wants to make fun of people, we could do that if we wanted to. You don't have to yell anything out. I could start right in on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, hey, nice socks, buddy. You know what I mean? And you're just in on it.
Here we go.
I mean, what are those?
I actually look
There we
at it.
go.
Them
I think
socks.
there's glass, like
the
pint
red,
glasses
what
on
are
there, but I'm
Christmas
not
socks?
sure.
Are they
Like a
Christmas
rocks
socks?
glass?
Are they Christmas socks?
It seems like
I
drinking
mean, I don't know.
socks.
That's
Look at those things. This looks like the state trooper that pulled me over. Look at this guy. Got off with a warning. I dropped your name, Boom Boom.
I appreciate it.
How fast
Did he
were you
let you
going?
off with a warning?
I was only going 70 and a 60.
I
crap.
do that. I do it all the
On
time.
the turnpike?
I don't get
Or
stopped.
where were you?
I lied to him. I told him that I didn't know the speed limit. I go, I'm from California. I gave him my Cali ID. And he goes, did you know it was 60? I go, no, sir. But the rental car that I rented when I landed at the airport, it has the
Right
speed
on.
limit sign right next to your speedometer. So. Hey, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Get a ticket? Come on, get out of here. I dropped everybody's name. I said I'm doing Boom Boom Mancini's podcast. I said I'm doing the guy from McHale's Navy's podcast.
Joe
You remember
Flynn.
him, don't you?
I'm doing the
man.
Warner Brothers show.
Yes.
I said, what? Get me out of here.
But so tell me. I mean, you're doing.
Can we go back to the roast? Can we talk about the roast?
Yeah.
Please.
All right, so you've written for... Have you ever been on the roast?
Not the Comedy Central roast.
Why the hell not, Tony?
I don't know. It's a weird,
They have to ask you?
like he was saying. It's a
That
weird
Jeselnik
business.
guy got on it.
I know Jeselnik just edged me out. He's been doing stand-up like 10 years longer than me. The first roast that he was on was actually the first roast I ever wrote on. So, you know, he sort of got in there. He slid into home plate right as I was coming around third.
Okay.
And, you know, it's one of those things to where, you know, a guy named Anthony with a goofy last name that's sort of lanky, white,
Right.
skinny.
Goes with jizz, kind of. Easy jokes for the
what's the
others.
guy's name?
Yeah.
Anthony
Jeselnik.
Jeselnik.
So it's sort of like we're sort of.
Was he
Jeselnik.
dating Amy Schumer at the time?
He actually was,
I
yeah.
see. When she was skinny.
Sort of. They were
Now-
sort of dating. Yeah.
Now, you met Dice out there?
Oh yeah, I'm friends with Dice.
Andrew's a good friend of mine.
Yep.
I remember when Andrew couldn't get arrested. He was hot.
Yeah.
He did a couple movies after for it. But then there was a period so we'd be at Cafe Roma,
Mm-hmm.
and boom, boom, and he got and he had his camera. He's just shooting, the little Super 8. Boom, I'm doing the show. Like he couldn't get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew's a good, funny cat. Mickey we did Mickey, and he'd say, boom, let me talk. And we do stuff, and he was putting it out there just to stay relevant.
Yeah.
And God bless him, man, because he's terrific at what he does. He's a terrific actor. When he pulled it back,
Oh, he's unbelievable in acting.
we know in the show he's still going to rip you a new one.
Right.
But people don't realize he's good actor, man.
Oh yeah. What was the Purple Jasmine? Is that what that was called?
the one with the
Allen?
Woody Allen film that made
Yeah.
him got him known.
Incredible and Shallow, or what was the Lady Gaga one?
Right.
That was a great
no,
one.
The song's called Shallow.
No,
Yeah.
sure. But
It's like Stars Born.
A
Stars Born.
But I
even
mean,
before
he's
that,
so good in these movies that
Yeah.
people don't even realize it's him.
That's him.
But before,
That's
didn't
right.
he do a show with, was it Jennifer Lawrence? I thought maybe he did a film even before that.
Uh-huh.
But like you said, before the Woody Allen film got him a little heat, he did another one. Then he had the show on Showtime.
Yep.
The Dice show.
Yeah.
Dice Rule. But it was a funny cat. Andrew's a funny, he ain't changed, he ain't softened up. But, he got to learn how to change the game.
Absolutely, and that's another real Comedy Store guy. Like, it's not, it's not one of those things where if you're at the Comedy Store in LA, you can't do the improv. Like, you could do
Right.
anywhere you want, but again, there's some people that
to where
really
he started, right?
really started the Comedy Store. You're nurtured there.
Right.
It's a boxing gym that you get to do your shows in, right? So you
right.
get better there, you train there, you learn there, you live there, you hang out there.
Right.
Even if you have a night off and you can't fall asleep, you could go there, have a
Right.
drink with your comedian buddies, whatever, maybe smoke some pot, what if you're into that type of thing, and you laugh, and then you go home and maybe you say something in the alleyway, kicking it with your buddies that, oh, I might try that on stage
go.
tomorrow, and the whole thing continues. It's, where it goes. And Dice is a real Comedy Store guy. And when I got there, man, first time I saw Dice, man, I'll never forget it. I was just there a few weeks. I was new to the place, new to stand-up, new to the job, and man, he reminds me a lot of my very Italian, powerful father. And boy, I was just in awe. I'll never forget it. They said, "Oh man, did you hear who's here?" I'm like, "No, who? Dice. Dice is going up in a minute." I went. I was sitting in that room, and I just couldn't believe it. It felt magical. Even the piano guy that's always there, everything felt louder. Like it's like they tune these things up.
Sure.
It's a different lighting scheme
Sure.
he gets. It's like pro wrestling.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
I know,
larger
right,
than
right,
life.
right.
And I'll never forget, he had his pack of cigarettes, and before he did anything, the crowd was going crazy. They had no idea he was even going to be there. That's another crazy thing
Yeah.
about the Comedy Stores. It's just
Anybody
always
go up there.
surprises.
That's right.
Exactly. And he took his pack of cigarettes, and he hit it against the microphone like this. He went, doof, 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 and he goes, test, just like that. And the room just started laughing because it's all psychological, right? So he was basically saying tests, like he's doing a sound check. Like everything that happened before him hadn't even happened.
Right,
None of what you've seen before at this point matters. The show starts now.
That's right.
Incredible.
Then he started with the hickory dickory dock.
No, he doesn't do that stuff
He doesn't
anymore.
do it anymore?
He does it.
He goofs
throws it
around
in
a
there.
bit.
He should.
But he doesn't open like that now because he's
Only been 30
because he's
years.
past that. He's evolved.
Yeah,
And,
but I was so intimidated. I didn't say a word to him the first few years I was there, and he loves that. That's how you get him on your side.
He
is-
says, BB.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
Yeah.
BB. He calls me BB.
Yeah.
BB. But Andrew's a funny cat.
Yeah. Well, now we're friends, basically family. I feel like I feel like I can say
That's
that.
the shit comedians do. They do form a family.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's the thing. Comedians do because you guys are there and you know the struggle with the other guys. You know what? You know who? One guy. I think he passed. Yeah, he passed. I used to see him out there. I seen him at the comedy store. That was his place. Once in a while, I don't know if he went to improv, but he was one of the funniest cats I ever saw. Paul Mooney. Did he pass? Not recently. No, it wasn't him.
I think he's still alive.
Yeah, Paul Mooney.
Did he? Did he just die?
Paul Mooney, I think he did pass.
John will Google it.
I think he did, but I hope I'm wrong. But he's one of them guys from. But Paul Mooney, he wrote for Eddie. He was Eddie Murphy's writer for a lot of guys. But Paul Mooney is still, for me, he was a comical genius.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Super genius.
Paul, if you ever get this, brother, I'm sorry,
Thank God,
man.
Paul.
I ain't not that you, because I love you, man. I got nothing but love. But
Paul Mooney, a lot of people don't realize this. He was Richard Pryor's only writer.
That's what I'm saying. I said him. I'm bad. I said Eddie Murphy. I meant Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
He wrote Richard Pryor's things.
Monster Paul Mooney was. People don't know that. People
And then
don't
when he go
realize
up and do
that.
his set, he was even funnier than he was as funny as Richard
Yeah.
Baby in some ways.
Back then, for sure. Absolutely.
Paul Mooney,
For sure.
comical genius.
So
man.
who'd you write for on the roast?
Almost everybody. I write for almost everybody. Whoever needs it. And really
Anyone
nowadays.
that's not a comedian.
Correct. And some comedians as well.
Too far. But Tony,
Give me some names.
Tony keeps.
I read Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, really just about everybody. Anybody you can think of.
Is it hard to do? I mean, are you writing for 2 or 3 people in the same roast?
Absolutely. I'm writing more for like 6 or 7 in the same roast. The only people that I don't write for are New York comedians if they already have writers and don't want or need any more help. Basically, if they're not doing anybody else's jokes, if they're doing anybody's jokes, they're going to want to see my file that I have for them. It's fun. It's sort of like, I get to think of my own jokes and what I would say all the time. So let's say I find out I'm writing for Boom Boom or Martha Stewart or Snoop Dogg. I get to crawl inside their head and their perspective. You know what I mean? So if say Boom Boom was doing a roast, I would when I was writing for him, I would start thinking, okay, what's boxing terms? I would say, I've taken a lot of punches, but no one has a more smashed in looking face than blah, 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 right? Like I would start thinking, okay, and it's like I get to take a break from my own brain and my own perspective and get to make fun of people using their perspective, if that makes sense. So it's like it's like a vacation from being me as a comedian, and you get to write some really funny things. It's like
Tony, I don't want you to think I'm trying to crawl up on you because these guys told me to get in, man.
give it a shot.
That's
Okay.
the reason I went out that far because I don't want Tony. Tony keeps, it's hard for him going back and forth like a swivel. I'm trying to make it easy for him, so I try to get over so he wouldn't have to look so far. That's why I was out there.
Smart.
But I'm
How
gonna get
long's
closer.
the set? Like, I'm sure we don't get to see the whole set. Do they just pick the good parts? Or
Yeah,
do we
Yeah,
they
they
pick
had
the
the
good
show, they
parts,
had the
which
show,
is a part that, I mean, that's a little bit janky for me because I wish the whole thing was in there, the whole experience.
Me too.
But they edit those things around and they flip beginnings and middles and ends sometimes. And, they give these editors too much power. You know what I'm talking about.
But that's where the magic's man. I
Right.
tell people, when you hire anybody for a film or a TV show or whatever, the first 2 guys you better get a good sound man, cameraman, and editor. Top 3 guys.
Yep.
And you better make friends with all of them because they can make you sound like shit, look like shit, and make the finished product look like shit.
Did I tell you?
Yep.
Did I tell you? That's what I told you?
No, man, it's editing's where I tell people when you're making a film, you know what?
Yeah.
It's like putting a puzzle together. You do different pieces of the puzzle. Editing room is where the magic comes together. So you better get a top-notch editor. They're as important, is not more important as the director.
You could have the shittiest director, and if you have a great editor, he can fix all that
Fix all
guy's
that.
problems.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And like I tell people, make friends with the sound guy and the cameraman because I'm gonna tell you what, and lighting, because they're gonna make you look good or they're not gonna make it. If you want to piss them off, tell them okay, we'll fix you.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. Actor, you guys treating the crew bad. Not a good move, man. Because you want to flex with them, but those aren't the guys to flex with. Flex with other actors. Flex with the producer. You don't flex with the camera, the below line guys.
Yep.
Because they will. They'll forget it, but they'll ruin you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get
So
him on
did
your
you-
side.
What was the last roast? Was it Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Did you do that one?
I wrote for it, yeah. I probably was almost on that one. I know that I was really close, and it's at this point, to be honest with you, it's It's a give and take. It's excruciatingly frustrating
Now,
because
you really want to be on it, right? Or don't you?
I mean, well, you know what? I always have. It would have been great, but now I'm at the point to where I'm flying on my own. The podcast that I have, that's a big live podcast, is selling out. We just sold out the oldest running rock and roll club in Columbus last night. We're doing massive theaters in Australia, London.
Al Rosa's Villa?
No, the Newport Music Hall.
Let's put it this way. You were on TV. You were the
Local news.
local. But I'm just saying you were the what's it called the center. Who would they call him?
The anchor.
The anchor.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
anchor. Thank you. Well, you want to be the guy writing for the show or be the
No,
anchor?
I mean,
no.
It
That's what I
sounds
mean.
like he kind of wants to, but it kind of
No,
sounds
no,
like he
no.
doesn't
I mean,
really.
everybody
care
wants
that
to be
much
in front
anymore.
of
Yeah,
the camera.
you want to be on it, but I'm just it used to really bother me that I wasn't on them. You know what I mean? Like,
Because it's all your work.
yeah, but I get it. They have to have these big stars, and
Yeah.
they also need diversity.
Yeah.
If they're gonna go, you can only have so many white guys, and if you're gonna have a white guy, you're gonna want these legends, you know what I mean, that have been doing it 20, 30 years longer than me. So it gets frustrating. In a different time or a different era, I would probably be the young buck on these things, you know, the new guy that's killing.
Yeah.
But instead, you know, I take my payday and I'm doing my own. I roast people for an hour and a half every single week on my big live podcast, and it's insanity, and I get to control it, and I
Right.
get to decide who my guests are. And we have the same people that on my panel that they have on those roasts. You know what I mean? I have, you know, Jeff Ross does my show, Rogan does my
Funny
show,
cat,
all these people. We in front of a big packed room that are all there. But my show, my name's in the show, Kill Tony. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big rotating.
Where do you do that?
We do that in the main room of the Comedy Store
no
every
kidding.
week. 400
No kidding.
people come from around the world buying
Oh.
tickets, and
There you go.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
There you go.
next
thought he
time
was-
you're in LA on
I
a
thought-
Monday night, I got a VIP booth for you, buddy.
Well, I'm actually going to be the Monday, but I'll be, you know, out there in La Crescenta.
Hey.
I'll be at the La Crescenta, like out there, you know, is where I'm going to be filming this thing, and God, anyhow. But La Crescenta is out there. But hey, this thing is killing me now, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
While
there.
he fixes
I don't
that,
know,
tighten
but
that.
Do they
Tell me
do
that.
your sets exactly word for
Thank you.
word, or do they
My
add their
man
stuff
Fred
and
is
does
killing me.
it tick you off when they do
Um,
foul? Because I'm guessing they foul things
My
up.
man.
Really, they want to do things my way.
They
My
are-
way.
They accept it.
Yeah, my way is the best way. It's the
And they get
shortest
that?
distance from
Thank
the
you,
setup to
Fred.
the
Thank you, buddy.
punchline. They get it. All the time. The only one that didn't ever want to do my stuff was Ann Coulter, because she wanted to fail so that she could say that they like blackmailed her or whatever. It was a whole thing. She's a smart lady. I'll give her credit because it worked out.
So you wrote.
She
for her
basically
and she
wanted-
didn't- She scrapped it.
Right. She wanted to bomb so that she could say that the liberals buried her. You know what I mean?
I've
Did
seen
she
one of
really
those.
say that she was doing that on purpose, or did you? just
She didn't
hear
say she
that?
was doing it on purpose. She said she had her own writer. She kept insisting she had her own writer. We read her script. We said, you need help. She said she's going to stick with this. We couldn't quite figure out why she was doing it. And then in the end, it all made sense because all the press was about her
Yeah.
bombing at this roast. She's a genius, as weird as that
Yeah,
sounds.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
The
You
only
create the buzz.
Exactly.
Or they'll say sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
that was a terrible piece of steak there, right?
Yeah.
But look, I'm not much, Mike, but when I see, oh my God, we just talked about the woman who was the cooking woman in
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Yep.
I seen her throwing out the F-bombs. That's the funny shit.
That's
I've ever
funny.
saw.
Yeah.
I've
That's
seen
funny.
Martha Stewart and then Sam Snoop Dogg saying, "I'd like to bang you up."
And those are
Oh,
my
that's
those are two of my biggest people. Right now, I'm writing a movie for Snoop Dogg for a Netflix production, and we work together. I go up to his house once every few weeks. We smoke some pot, laugh our balls
I met him when he came
off.
to Youngstown. He came to show. He's every. He said, hey, boom, man. So he said he wants to meet you back. So we went back in the bus. Went in. You know, the fumes were plentiful. And I'll never forget, he says, boom. You know, I said, hey, I was out there. I know, you know, he was from at Long Beach. I said, hey, man, my kids play down in the LBC a lot, you know, when they're doing basketball tournament stuff. I said, you know, man, I really, you know, admire what you do, this and that, blah, blah. I said, I know the area and where you come from, man. I admire, you know, how you've climbed a lot. Well, you know, boom, you know how we do what we do. And I just, you know,
He looks identical to 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you don't think
Marijuana
that's-
is good
it's
for you. You see this
preservative, man.
CBD store across the street?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the stuff that
Is
works.
that why you were a little bit late?
No,
Okay.
that was
You didn't
no.
go over there?
But,
Well, I mean, no, but thank goodness that trooper didn't search our car. I'll tell you this. They put me in the. They took me back and patted me down and put me in the car because that's what they do, just to make sure you don't drive away. Because I had a bunch of passengers, and it turns out when he sat me, he put me in the passenger side of the car, not the back of the car, right? Because they just make sure you're not going to speed away, basically, right? And he sat me back there, but then he went to go get my passengers' IDs too, to run a background check on them, right? My comedian buddies who we all do these shows together. And when he goes, I'll be right back, I'm going to get their information. He closed the door and I heard, and I looked behind me and it was a canine unit.
Oh.
And I realized this is a marijuana sniffing dog.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
This could
good
be
boy,
bad."
good boy, everything's good. Chill out. Trying to find beef jerky in my pocket to throw back at it.
This was today?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's the real reason why I'm late. I still had to eat my mom's sauce. I'm sorry, but I didn't stop that. We had to stop at my mom's place. She had a fucking vat, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, you've lived on the West Coast, right?
They don't have Italians out
No, don't stop. I'm gonna tell you.
That's their problem.
People see.
They don't have real Italians.
They have Italian.
Hey, they're all actors.
Let me say it. People say to me, "Oh, they don't got the food right there, and got the food we got here." And I said, "Are you shitting me? It's the best food."
Yeah.
I said, "People come from Italy. They go to 3 places now. They go to Vegas, they go to South Beach, and they go to L.A.
Yeah.
Why? The weather. Ain't nobody going to cold weather. Ain't nobody coming to
I
New York.
understand.
Right.
Is
The
there a
best
place-
Italian food out there.
Is there a place
Believe
you go
me.
to when you come back?
When I come here,
Yeah, are you like, I gotta go
two
to
places. My
Wedgwood
mom's
or
my
whatever.
mom's sauce and Joey Restaurant on Belmont Avenue.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Joey's.
Yep.
Joey's. I'll be there actually for Monday for a little party. 23rd.
Really?
Not this coming Monday, for a little Christmas party.
Those are your 2 stops?
I'm going
for
there
Joie.
tonight.
For Joie's. Looks like when you see what the little thing has over, looks like Joie.
Yeah.
G-O-I.
With the
J-O-I,
umlaut
but it's
over
the
there,
thing.
whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
got the E.
J-O-E with the
Yeah,
accent
yeah,
over
it
it.
looks like Joie.
You
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
handles or anything like that?
I love Handles. Handles is good. Katie's Corner's good. I mean, I'm not gonna hit it today. It's I've been in LA for 14 years, man. This is Antarctica to me right now.
Yeah.
This is no joke.
But where do you live in LA? Where at?
I live right at the
Apples?
farmers market, Fairfax.
Oh, sure.
and
I know.
Third.
You sure know well.
I
Sure,
love
sure.
it.
I used to go down there because I used to go by, CBS. They go.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Lucille Ball used to do her show there. That was Lucille.
45-second
Yeah.
walk from CBS
Yeah.
Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good area. Good area, man.
I love it there, man. It's 2-minute drive to the Improv, 6-minute drive to the Comedy
sure.
Store. Can't beat it.
But if you got to get to the LAX, that could be a little different. Nah,
Actually, that's pretty good for LAX.
Actually, you
too,
go straight
'cause-
down. You go straight down what?
La Cienega.
Fairfax or
Yep.
Fairfax, La Cienega, right?
Yep.
All the way down. You're right. Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a huge accomplishment for me. I'm there. I got my own real nice, old school, high ceiling apartment, and got a nice little fancy Corvette. And what's cool is that 12 years ago, when I started at the Comedy Store, I looked at it as the opportunity of a lifetime when I got that job there. And I would sleep in my car, the little 1989 Ford Taurus that I had. I would walk up the hill where I would park it for my shift. I'd bring it down and I'd pull it into the alleyway right behind the Comedy Store. And I would jump in the back seat. I would go in my trunk, get a pillow and a blanket, hop in the back seat of my car, get in the fetal position and crash. I'd wake up when the sun came up, when that sweat started at 6 a.m. I would go shower in the main room of the Comedy Store. There's a little shower in the green room there. The cleaning crew would already be there that early.
Then you get to know you.
Exactly. I was in with them, made buddies with them. I'd go to Starbucks where I would work morning shifts there from 6 to 11 a.m. I'd come back with the crumb cakes and the coffees for the cleaning crew. I'd work a phone shift at the Comedy Store from 11 to 6 or 7 p.m. And then once the club opened up from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., I was working the door there, learning, growing. I'd write all day and perform all night and
funny. It sounds
sleep
like
in my
people don't
car. And you know why? You know why I was able to do all that? Because of Youngstown, Ohio. Because anything's better than that. I mean, it makes you strong is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, guys.
No, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think. I mean, it's a great place. But if this ain't, and I'll tell you, I got you. I understand. I
Right.
tell people, there's not a place that nurtures being a comedian.
Right.
I always said when I was growing up. So let me go back to help get you back. When I was growing up, I said people said, get married. That's a little before your time. In the '60s, get married, get a job, graduate, get married, get a job in a steel mill, and raise a family.
That's right.
Great. I said, it's a great life, good life. My whole neighborhood was mill rats.
Right.
I wanted something different. I said, I can't do that.
Yep.
I want something different. Youngstown wasn't a place that said, hey, build your dreams of being a comedian, be a dream of being an actor, be a dream of being a world champion, be a being a musician. It was get a job, and that's not no knock. It's about our town.
just what it
It was sustainability. It was a quality life. It was a very Pollyanna life. Yep. But when the stimulus shut down and a lot of things went sideways, hey, you gotta look for it. So LA is a place that dreams can come true. Just what he's telling you, sleeping in this car. Those are, and he's not the only one. Those are common, those stories. But you do what you got to do. He paid his dues. So when people get success, they go, oh, this guy. They don't know about the years of sleeping in your car and eating, eating.
Subway twice
Subways
a day.
or whatever,
a $5 footlong that means 6 inches for lunch, 6 inches for dinner.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And I know people who did that. So, I admire the fact, guys like you, but you do it because you said, but when you see that sun every day, it gives you a mindset, I could make it happen. If you had to wake up in a car in Youngstown, and I know where it's during, you want to take the bridge.
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's our
Right.
town. This is
Right.
where we come from.
Did you-
LA is the dreams
And
can
those-
come and do come true.
And that was the thing is people get it twisted, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you slept in your car. Oh, I feel so bad. It was, no, those were the happiest days of my life because I knew I was, there,
Striving.
nothing could stop me.
Right. You're
Nothing.
going for the dream. There's only one thing in mind, and that's getting.
Did you do comedy here and then go?
Not
or
at
did
all,
you just
no.
go?
I started at the Comedy Store
Did
May
you know
2007.
here I'm going there to
Yeah.
do comedy?
Yeah, I was gonna go there and start stand up and write movies and
And who
That
tried to
would
talk you out of it?
Thank you.
Anybody?
Thank you.
no, not really. No.
Everybody's like,
There
yeah,
you go.
ahead.
Yeah, I mean, my buddies wanted me to hang out. You know, we had fun. We would drink and laugh and hang out. I made all my buddies laugh all the time here, but they wanted something better for me too. They could feel that I had a little extra energy, a little extra.
And when you hit, I'm my friends say, I remember when Tony used to sleep in his car. I remember when Tony used to talk, because I've guys, friends of mine used to say, I remember when you'd be on weekends and everyone was going out and you said, no, I got to train tomorrow. And I'd be sitting and getting home. There's a nice, I love them then because they remember, and they're proud of me because I did. They saw me, I didn't cheat myself.
Right.
I didn't pay the dues. Not to chase up. Do you know, are familiar with, there's a Youngstown comedian. He's actually in New York. He was in Chicago for Michael Timlin. Have you heard of him?
No.
Michael Timlin, he's a friend. I know his mother and his father. Went to Chicago. He was in Chicago for. Now he's in New York and he's doing a circuit. But he's a funny little kid. So you do it good. Because he's about 7, 8 years, about 28, 20,
Yeah.
27, 28. But he's a funny kid, and one of his kids was naturally funny as a young in high school. You could see that, but he's doing what
And that was
trying to do it.
That was a big thing in high school.
Yeah.
A lot of my teachers, basically all of them except for one or two, and the one went on to, he's now the principal, Mr. San Martino. But all the other teachers were very rough on me. Very, stop misbehaving.
You
Stop.
think you're a funny guy, huh?
Right.
Why don't you go to Hollywood and prove
What do you
it?
think you're a comedian?
And you want to know what they all used to say is, where's making fun of people gonna get you?
In Hollywood, on this at the comedy store.
Or the president. You could be the president that way.
They
if you
tried.
want to.
You're right.
I did at the UFC a couple weeks ago. Again, and I did meet the president.
There you go. He makes fun of people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
I
there
see
you
what
go.
you're saying. Yeah.
Shut up, teacher.
Yeah.
Do you have friends that are funnier than you?
Oh my God, yes.
Isn't that funny how that works sometimes?
Well, no, no, not my old friends, my
That's
new
what I'm saying,
friends.
Oh,
whatever.
you're not-
But I'm
no,
saying-
are there any
no,
Youngstown
no,
people?
But there's some guys
Hell
that-
no.
There's some guys.
All right.
There's some guys that scream. That was a funny guy.
Yeah.
He could have been
Yeah.
a hell of a comedian
Yes.
if
Yes.
he took the shot.
Yeah.
They
But-
could have been,
Yeah.
yes. Billy Poole could have been.
funny guys. They
Yeah.
were funnier than me, but they didn't go. I
Right,
went.
right.
I tell people all the time, there was better fighters. I'm sure,
That's what I
there were
mean.
Better fighters. At the time, there was a lot of good fighters and stuff. But I'm the one who went to New York. Nobody was leaving Youngstown at that time.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody too many have since. I went there because I knew you could stay in Youngstown. My father told me, you stay here, you're going to starve. Raymond, I had to go. And I wanted to be my father, so I went. But it's like you read about these comedians. You read about what they do. They left and they went to L.A. They went to New York. If that's who you want to be, successful, then that's what you try to follow. If it ain't happening in Youngstown, there's nothing happening. The comedy club, comedy store that had it up on Belmont Avenue, right? The Holiday Inn or something.
Right.
If you want to.
Yeah, I wanted to start where the big dogs
dogs are,
were,
that's right.
and I wanted to sink or swim, and I swam. It's again, but it's Youngstown. There's no doubt in my mind, and that's why when you asked me to come here and everything, I wanted to do this. It's because we have this connection. It's no coincidence. It's not just
you're absolutely, and you make your bones here in town.
Yeah.
People understand this town. I always tell people, and I've said this many times. Everything I am, everything I've ever been, everything I ever will be, is for two reasons: my family and my city of Youngstown.
Mm-hmm.
That's no bullshit. That's no dispute. This town, it born me, it raised me, and it set me off to my success.
It's not a place you want to stay, but it's a great place to be from. You know what I mean? It's a great place to learn, to grow, to give you that extra edge of how to handle yourself. If I go to New York, I know what happens if I get mugged. I know exactly where on the kneecap to kick in backwards. You know what I mean? All this stuff. Because
my friend said, I always tell people, if you got a stick or something, kick below. That's right. If you got a stick, bang them in the kneecap. Don't bang them in the head. Don't bang them in the... You go below.
Yeah.
Even if they're on PCP, they can go down. Don't go down.
Good advice. Good advice. Do you remember when you went from, I think I can make it, to, I know I'm going to make it?
As egotistical as
or was
this
it always,
sounds,
I know I'm going to
do it?
I bet you say you don't think you've...
Right. Yeah. I think in order to make it, you can't not think you're going to make it. You gotta go in there completely...
Even on the first time you walked out on stage?
You
there
have
wasn't in
to
your
realize,
mind,
like, my first time I ever walked out on stage, I had prepared for 2 or 3 months, and then at the Comedy Store, the open mic is only 3 minutes long.
It, yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I found out it's only 3 minutes. So I go, 3 minutes? I'm gonna destroy. Yeah. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna prepare for months. I'm gonna go in there. They're gonna hire me within a few weeks. This is gonna be magical. And I prepared for months. I'd go to the park every day, and I'd write, and I'd keep writing, and I'd edit it and write again, and I memorized it all for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I finally went to the Comedy Store. I signed up for the open mic. 100 people sign up. They only pick 15. They sort of look for new names, and they'll give a few people the spot that have earned it over the last few weeks. And I was lucky enough to get put on the list, number 12 or 13 out of 15. I'm watching these people go up before me. It's also my first time in a comedy club live. Was the Comedy Store, and I was on the show. I was coming up. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching it. I just can't believe it. But it was home already. The energy, I'm looking at it like, yeah, this is it. Look at these red neons and this black leather couches everywhere, and everything's so black and red, and it's so cool to me. And the sound and you see the names in cursive neons: Andrew Dice Clay, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey. You're there where all these legends are built and made. And the host goes, all right, your next comedian, this looks like a new name. Put your hands together for Tony Hinchcliffe. And I walk up there, and as soon as I hit that stage, I blanked out. I forgot everything that I had prepared for the months leading into it, because the nerves were unlike anything.
You got to manage them. You got to chill.
I had no theater background going into this. I had no performance background, and I blanked out. But you know what happened is I go, hey everybody, yeah, I'm Tony, and I forget everything that I was going to talk with you about, and it gets this laugh that the 12 guys before me didn't get, because they're doing these jokey jokes, right, that the audience was expecting, and the jokes aren't as good as they were expecting them to be. So I go, I forgot everything I'm talking about, and it gets a laugh. And I go, no, I'm serious. I prepared for months for this. Another bigger laugh. And I go, I don't know what you're laughing at. Bigger laugh, right? I'm just being honest. I'm in the moment. I'm listening to them. Again.
But they see your vulnerability.
Exactly. Timing and beats, going back to that about the heckler thing, it's like I'm using my timing, I'm listening to them. It's like a dance. They're making a move, I'm making a move. And literally that night, the talent coordinator took my name. I had a job within 2 or 3 weeks because of that, not because of, and little did they know that it turns out I was a writer that but that muscle showed itself for the first time that night. So, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone that can roll with the punches when everything's bad.
That's
when
right.
you have nothing, what do you got?
I said I used to hang out at the Improv a lot, and I used to be on a Saturday night, and last show, it's 8 and 10, and then at 12 o'clock, there'd be 10 of us left, and Robin Williams would walk in and go up and do an hour and a half.
Oh, gosh.
And you just sit there and piss your pants, and you go, but he didn't care if there's 100 people or 10 people.
Yep.
He was doing the same, and you just said, this guy's unbelievable. He's magical.
Energy. I mean, he would be dripping sweat. Again, 10 people, packed house. He's just running across the stage.
And he was, and I just said, wow, man, that was, and I got to be friends with him through friends,
Yeah.
and but he was literally like that off stage. He was manic, he was bouncing off the walls, and I went, this kid, this is him. This is him. There's no act.
Is there anyone that you've come across that even you were kind of like starstruck when you met them?
I mean, a lot of them, man. I mean, it's just I've met everybody. I've met all of my heroes. So really, it's like I love the art form so much that I get starstruck by I mean, not like wacky doodle starstruck. I'm super polite and I try to I'm a classy dude, but it's always weird to me when I'm at the Comedy Store and I see Chappelle and he goes, Tony, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is weird. It's weird every time.
He's from Ohio.
Yeah.
There's a bond, a little.
Yeah.
No, I know.
But yeah, he probably forgets that I'm from Ohio. It's more like it's like the comedy family.
He's from Maryland.
I thought he was from Dayton.
No, he moved to Dayton for whatever reason. He's from Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I said Boston. But it's funny. But what's funny when people say, I meet peers. I don't know what to say. I used to tell my kids, because my kids met a lot of people with me and stuff, and they'd say, here's what you say. And I've done this. When I've seen people I wanted to meet and stuff, I just say, hey, I just want to say I admire your work very much.
Right. No, that's it.
I just say I admire your work very much.
Yep.
You can't get offended by that. And they go, oh, thank you.
That's
and you
it.
walk away.
That's exactly what I do.
But nobody ever made you lose your train of thought, or like you were going to say something.
If you want to know the truth, I ended up making friends with Roddy Piper, an old pro wrestler. Pro wrestling.
He came on the morning. He came on the morning show.
Pro wrestling was my jam when I was growing up. There was no father in my household that I grew up in, so these larger-than-life wrestlers, when I found them on a Saturday morning at a young age, were a lot of the entertainer in me was sort of built from these guys, and I made friends with Piper. He mentored me in the art of sort of like carrying yourself like a star a little bit, I guess you could say, and I was helping him with jokes because he came to the Comedy Store and wanted to learn how to tell good stories. So I would punch up his stories, and he was teaching me little things about, just cameras and this and everything. And we became friends. So he was hanging out at the Comedy Store more often than we ever thought he would. And one night I didn't realize he was there. I was walking by to go to the back to hang out with a pal, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this like long black, sort of like wet hair, it seemed, and I see this leather jacket, and I'm just walking by casually, and then I notice that it's Bret the Hitman Hart.
There you go.
And I fell backwards into a little sewing machine that was against the wall, and I literally made a bunch of noise, like you ever see in a movie when someone's just sort of like, oh, like an idiot. Like I was that guy, and they whatever they were talking about, they both look over. And I'm like, hello, sorry, hi. And Piper's like, come here, meet my friend. He could tell exactly what just happened. It's like if someone was a fan of yours and they walked in here not knowing you were there and fell into that table and over like their feet behind it. That's basically what I did.
First time I met Mike, he did that.
I did.
Mike. Oh, this one.
Yeah. A lady came in last week, thought we were DJs. So, hey. I mean, that was fun.
Why aren't you guys playing any music?
Can I hire you for our event? We're like, we're not really.
That's funny. But, Ton, I so much I want to say. I mean,
what's the next thing you're doing?
Tell me.
So this movie, the Snoop movie?
Yeah.
Or is that going to be
these writing gigs are nothing. The roast, blah, it's Comedy Central. Barely anybody's watching anymore.
Is there another roast coming up?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? These roast things, they come and they go. You got to get in on the podcast, man. This is what's happening. You got to look up Kill Tony. It's a machine. We are torn. We're filling up theaters around the world. It's called Kill Tony.
Kill Tony.
And that's the new roast show. If you want to see a roast, you do that. So what I do is I do a show, and it fills up with fans, but also a bunch of people sign up for the chance to do stand-up comedy on my show. So you sign up when you come in if you want to, and right before the show they cut everybody's names up. It goes into a bucket, and I pull names out during the show, and if I pull your name out, that means you get to come up on stage and do 60 seconds of stand-up comedy. And then at the end of the 60 seconds, you get made fun of. Yeah, it's the best. Everybody loves it, and I find out more about the person. I interview them and make fun of them about that, and they love it. Everybody is happy.
That's a great concept.
Yeah.
Can I? What if I gave you some topic? Could you do like a 30-second make fun of thing?
Yeah,
of you? No, not me. I was going to come up with topics.
Oh yeah,
for the show. Can we just start right now?
Wait, 30 seconds. What do you mean?
Yeah, you can rip. Give me rip.
You're gonna do stand up.
No, you can do it. I'll say like new Star Wars movie.
And then you want me to do a joke about it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's not.
Is that cool?
It's not really how it works.
God
but
damn it!
I know you don't get it.
I want you to do it.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be fun.
It's like the. I tell people it's like the monkey in Oregon. Okay,
I know. No, I know what you mean. Because how many
How does
people
this
say,
guy have more brain damage than you, Boom Boom? What's going on over here? How's this a thing?
He never had a fight. How's that work?
I got punched once. I don't even call it a fight.
No, you don't quite get
I've
it.
seen your fight. Somehow this guy gets. It's like twin brothers. Like he felt your pain from all the boxing.
I know, it's like
Well, I told you before you came in. I was telling them. Well, Mike, let me leave.
goofing around,
Mike,
Mike.
he'll
I can
take
Believe
it.
me.
Mike, while I'm talking, he'll think of something. I actually told him. I don't know if you
Really?
were able to tell him. Actually,
You think he's
I
funny?
Actually, I told you. I was telling them, but I can't remember when you
Yeah.
walked in. That I did 5 minutes at the Improv. I told you
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Mark Lennon, you think you're funny? Yeah. And that's what I said. My ass was so puckered up because they said, well, you act like you're going into a fight. You're so nervous. I said, in the ring, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Here, I'm trying to be funny, and then you see people, and you walk out and say, and they're looking at you like this, make me laugh, tough guy, make me laugh. And you go, oh hell no, man, this ain't what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Because you don't know until you get there.
Right.
It's like the guys, fighters. They say, I always tell people, there's two types of guys: guys who want to be fighters, and some guys who like the idea of being a fighter.
Right.
And that's the day you go out there and get somebody saying, oh man, that hurt, because they like the idea of being a fighter. They don't want to pay dues. They don't want to pay the dues. They don't want to train like they should because they like the idea of being a fighter. All the accoutrements. I always tell people, guys say, well, my kid wants to be a fighter. And I always say to them, let me ask you something. Why? And look at you. Well, to be famous. I said, no shit. It lasts about 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
To meet girls. I said, no shit. Get a personality. How's that?
Right. Yeah.
They go, or to make money. I said, let me tell you something. 10% of fighters make money, make any type of money. 10% don't need a second job.
Right.
Go get a job.
Right.
If I don't hear to be a world champion, then you're in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Don't do anything. That should be the answer. First of all, to be a world champion. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I hear these things, and so that's what. Like there's guys who like the idea of being a fighter. There's guys I'm sure like you who like the idea of thinking I'm gonna be a funny guy.
100%.
I'm gonna win the girl over. I'm gonna be funny, and that because women, what's the one trait women say they look guys? It's humor. If a guy who wins them over is humor, right? It's a little different when you're up there being cute in class, being cute in front of your girlfriend or traveling over, being there trying to make a group of people laugh.
Yeah, people don't realize we're up there on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays too. It's not just the sold out Fridays and Saturdays. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. That's the thing. You gotta do it because you love it. I mean, look at the guys that become champions, right, in boxing, and then what do? I heard that this Ruiz guy. I heard before this rematch. I heard he's drinking a lot of tequila. He's going out at night.
He's one of our fighters. I work with Fox, the PPC. He's one of our fighters. I love him. Good guy.
Yeah.
But
I heard he was doing a lot of celebrating.
No, he was. He was 260.
Yeah.
His last fight, 260.
Yeah.
250.
Yeah.
260. He goes to 282. I said, bro, what do it ain't down to gain weight, it's to lose the weight or maintain the weight.
Right.
But he was eating, the tacos and the tequila like
Yep.
he was going electric chair.
Yep.
And success, look, I tell people all the time, you've heard the story of the prior, you've heard the stories of all the guys. Success is the greatest aphrodisiac. I said, but a lot of people ain't made to handle success. Being able to handle success is a quality, it's a real character trait. You gotta be able to handle success. Because numerous examples in comedy and music and entertainment and all that. And it ain't just everyday guy. It's people in every walks of life.
I got out of high school. I went down to Columbus. Went to college for about a semester and a half. My girlfriend broke up with me. My heart was broken. I went into a deep depression, real deep. Was working at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, a fancy steakhouse down there in Columbus at nighttime, and that's a dinner house, so they don't open up until, 5 or 6 p.m. or whatever. So I ended up drinking a lot, and after these shifts, and then I was so depressed that I couldn't even get myself out of bed, honestly, until 3 or 4 p.m. I'd work at the dinner shift again. You get out at 11, you drink again. The next day, you're even more depressed.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Every day's a weekend.
So depressed down there. And then, long story short, I got to work, right? And here I go. There I am in Columbus last night, a sold-out show on High Street, the oldest rock club in the country, my own show. The last time before that in Columbus, Nationwide Arena, me on that stage for 30 minutes, just me and a microphone, working the Nationwide Arena. And at any of these points, I could have talked about what I just talked about how depressed I was and this and that. But no, it's about throwing punches, throwing heat.
Absolutely.
Never let them breathe, never let them up, because you want to be back again for the next one and the next one and the next one. And, it's that my point isn't to brag about how sad I was in Columbus and what I'm doing now, but my point is my focus even on last night's show is how good of a show can we have? Even in the success, how can we get better? What could we have done better? In retrospect, what would we? You know what I love? You know what made me tear up lately was there was something about that Buckeye game last Saturday versus Wisconsin, that halftime, and I was in it too, right? I fucking love the Buckeyes. 14 years in LA has not shifted my love for the Buckeyes at all. Through and through, I'll wake up because the times are wacky out there.
10 o'clock
Got the noon game.
Sometimes it's a noon game. You have to be up at 9 a.m. Right. Michigan, you got to be up at 9 a.m. It's Christmas morning for me, by the way. Every Michigan game. I set my alarm because that's on a Saturday. Fridays are late nights for a guy like me, man. You know what I mean? I get home 3 or 4 a.m. sometimes if everybody's hanging at the Comedy Store. But that alarm's set, it goes off. Anyway, I knew it when that game was 21-7 in halftime. And I mean, who knows anything in sports? Nobody. But I fucking knew that we were not going to let them score again. I'm watching the guys do their commentary at halftime. Even Urban Meyer, like, they got to figure it out. They got to. And it hit me. Now, this isn't even Urban's Buckeyes. This is there's something about this Ryan Day guy. This guy's a winner, man. And what does he do? Is he panicking? Is he out there yelling with steam coming out of his ears? No, he's looking at every single little tiny adjustment that he can make. Things that didn't go as planned this day on this team, and how he can do better. It's not about sometimes the passion. It's not about the heart. Sometimes it's about all of these things and executing. And that's really championship stuff.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's a fun.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
I know. Can they beat Clemson?
They will.
Absolutely, we can
Okay.
beat Clemson.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I'm asking
Come
you.
on, man.
What is this?
Come on,
What's
man.
going on over here? We got everybody.
These
We're
are
taking
legitimate
everybody.
questions.
This is our year.
This is our year. He's right.
Yep.
That we can compete with the SEC. It's SEC. Those guys, Clemson, Alabama.
Look, am I excited about the national championship being in New Orleans and this LSU team looking how they're looking? I mean, it ain't pretty. I wouldn't want to go, I wouldn't want to have a boxing match with Boom Boom in Youngstown. I don't want to I don't want to face LSU in New Orleans. But I mean, I'm telling you.
But to be the best, you got to beat the best and beat them in their backyard.
That's right.
All right. That's it.
On that note, Tony, you got me all fired up, man. Let's put me in, coach.
I know. Me too. Me too.
Anyhow,
I'm glad I
Tony,
did.
so happy to have you here, man.
Thank you.
You do great. And Mike, you're okay too.
And,
nice to have you too.
I know.
Such an honor to be here.
Today you were decorations.
I'll tell you the same thing I told Joe Rogan on his podcast 2 days ago, is that, you're the only thing that could have hit me up and dragged me out of my mom's vat of spaghetti sauce. I live for that stuff.
Tony,
she
I
sends
truly,
it to me.
Truly appreciate that,
my
man.
mom makes such good sauce that she freezes it in
Sends it to you?
blocks.
There you go.
Sends it across the country.
No, I got that. These guys said, and Mike said, you got to get Tony on, and these guys, and I said, absolutely. I said, I'd love it. But they came up to the idea, and they brought it up to me, and so I can't take it. Mike and everyone here is the one who got
Mike
the
gets
idea.
it.
So
Yeah,
I get it. But Tell you, I mean, all right, brother. We like to push it a little bit, but we like to go out on a high note.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
Mr. Sinatra never did encores. You knew
Right.
that. Frank Sinatra never did encore because you always want to leave them wanting a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do today.
Plus,
so
there's a reservation
until
here at five.
next time, I won't be here on Tuesday. I'll be out of town. After that, we're not going to do it right before Christmas. So this is going to be the last show after Christmas, after New Year, right? Yep.
Are we done
Okay.
for the year?
That's it, Mike. That's it.
wow.
We're going off on a high note, man.
All right, good.
So, see us
for
the
me.
beginning of next year, the beginning of another round of Ray's Boom Boom Room. If you like it, please tell your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourself. Nobody gives a shit. Anyhow, but appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, the first Tuesday after the New Year. We'll be back. So until then, take care of each other. Love each other. Good night and God bless.